leave my heart open. It never hurts when you say goodbye. Relationships don't get deep to me. Never got the whole in love thing. So someone could say they love me truly, but at the time it didn't mean a thing. My mind is gone, I'm spinning round, and deep inside, my tears I'll drown. I'm losing strength, what's happening? I strayed from love, this is how I feel. This time it's different, felt like I was just a victim, and it cut me like a knife when you walked out of my life. Now I'm in this position, and I've got all the symptoms of a girl with a broken heart. But no matter what, you'll never see me cry. How did I end up right here? I'll never know. Never meant to let it get so personal. Take away from loving you, take away from loving you. I just know that I can't let you go. Thought I'd let you know that this time it's different. Felt like I was just a victim, and it cut me like a knife when you walked out of my life. Now I'm in this position, and I've got all the symptoms of a girl with a broken heart. But no matter what, you'll never see me cry. All my life. That song played a huge part in my childhood. I wasn't even allowed to listen to secular music, but the songs that slipped through that I was able to listen to and like really create an affinity towards, out of those songs, Cry by Rihanna was definitely one of those. Not too many made that list, but Cry by Rihanna was one of those. And it kind of like gave me like a life philosophy that I didn't even really realize. I didn't think about until just now, like while I was singing it. And it's like, I remember being in middle school. That's when I started to value not being like emotional when it came to love. That song had a lot to do with it. And this is what I mean when I'm like, music, art, any art, especially music though, it reflects, yes, but it also influences. So I wasn't already, I guess the foundation had been laid like that because like I was raised to be independent. My stepdad raised me to not have to ask a man for things. So he taught me things so I wouldn't have to ask a man for things. Like even right now, I'm like learning how to do maintenance on my car. A lot of women just don't know how to do the things, and that's just not how I was raised. And I'm an adult, and it's still like expected. Like I'm single, so it's like I'm still gonna teach you things basically, so you don't need a man. So like that's great, but everything has its pros and cons, and so it kind of also makes me lean towards not asking for help from anybody, especially men, but also from anybody, because I just value independence. I value not letting your emotions dictate you not doing what you said you were going to do, you know, which honestly, these are all masculine qualities. But they help. It helps to have these masculine qualities when you don't have a man, when you don't have a partner. It helps you get through life. But if you're not careful, it can bleed over into areas you didn't mean for it to bleed over into. So I'm currently like in the process of unlearning a lot of things. And it's like, I like that I can rely on myself for so much. Like I'm self-sufficient, and I know if it hits the fan, it's not necessarily that I know what to do. It's that I've seen myself in so many other situations that I trust my own guidance in like a situation that a lot of other women might think is like just scary or just you don't know what to do. But when it comes to like romantic relationships, I had to really like take a step back and really give it to God. Like, I'm at the point now where I'm just waiting on my husband, because I had a very fun and active dating life, which I didn't start dating until college. But the few years that I did date, it was active and it was on my own terms. That was like the best thing about it to me. Like the song says, I'm not the type to get my heart broken. I'm not the type to get upset and cry. Like a lot of the things that women stereotypically, which now I'm more of a stereotypical woman, but then I didn't realize I was like so much in my masculine energy, even though I felt like I wasn't feminine. But that was more so like, I felt like because of my body, because I was like so skinny. Yeah, that was like a big part of it, just that I was skinny, and some other things too, but still I didn't realize there was like a deeper underlying thing, and it's only now that I'm unlearning and learning things about myself. But anyway, being in your masculine so much, and that song, that's what she's talking about. She's like, I'm more in my masculine when it comes to relationships, but you got me all up in my feminine, and then you broke my heart. Like, so yeah, it's like I felt like it was cool. It was so cool. Like the first part of that song, I'm not the type to get like this or like that. Like that's the part that I, as a middle schooler, I drew towards. Like to me, that was like the coolest woman ever. Even though the whole song is not about that, but that contrast right there, I just couldn't really let it go. And I went on to, like, I became who I thought was the coolest woman ever. Like, when I was able to, I became her. Like, I wasn't able to become her in middle school, and it was my own definition. It wasn't even society's definition. Like, I defined it. But then it's like, I realized I was like apathetic in relationships, and it really wasn't like a godly way to go about it. Even though during college I wasn't worried about being godly or being Christian. Like during my college years, I definitely walked away from Christianity. And not because, I just want to do stuff. It was because of theology. Learning things in my African American studies class that I had never been taught in church was like, I felt like, oh, this is fake. Y'all have been lying to me. Like, the Bible's fake. Y'all said it was fully real, and it was the first time this story has been told, but why am I hearing about this story, but it's just different characters, and it's a book written before the Bible? So that really got to me. And I was raised in church. But yeah, that after that kind of awakening happened, I just spent a few years searching for truth in my own way and like creating my own rules. And that's really when I became my definition of just the coolest girl ever. I didn't care what nobody said, what nobody thought. I was having fun. And don't even think that you understand, because you don't. Because sometimes my definition of having fun was not doing nothing. Like in situations where you would be expected to do something. Which, that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, it was more just about the power. It was about the power and the control that I was able to have. And I finally felt feminine, because like, it's like, okay, I'm desired. And I had never been desired. Like I didn't feel like I was desired before. But then when I became the woman that I felt like she's desired, then I was desired. But even then, I was very much in my masculine, like initiating things. I'm the one who's walking up to the guy first. I'm the one introducing myself. I'm the one who's like, let's take this from the DMs to the phone. Like, what's your number? Not waiting on him to ask me for my number. I'm the one. This is back when people actually danced at clubs, even though I could only go to like under 21 clubs. Still, I'm the one who will walk up to a guy and start dancing. And not just any guy. Like, I would find like the guy who normally I would be like nervous to talk to, because like, oh my gosh, he's so fine. He probably won't think that I'm fine. Like, he probably won't think that I'm probably, like, he's out of my league, basically. And that would be the guy that I go up and start talking to, or just start dancing with. And not in a rude way, not like take this dance, but like just, you know, seeing their vibe, and it's like, okay, all right, they're open to a dance, all right, let's dance. Like, that was me, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And I always want to make sure I point that out, because I feel like when people tell their testimonies, they make it seem like it was horrible. It was just, oh, it was horrible. And I'm not gonna do that, because I want people to relate to me. I want people who are still where I was to relate. Like, you might still be having fun, because I'm telling you I was having fun. But there's a reason why I'm not still living like that, because having fun is not enough, and doing what you want is not enough, because it's just unfulfilling. There will be holes in your life somewhere. But yeah, so like now I'm just waiting for God to send my husband, and I've totally taken my hands off of the situation, because first of all, who I'm interested in, like, whatever I think is good for me has not been good for me. So basically, I've shown myself, okay, I can't trust my judgment in that area. Lord, take it from here. Just do it. And then the fact that people change, that's what gets me. It's like, somebody could be a good person right now, but you don't know how a midlife crisis is gonna change somebody. They might not have ever been abusive before, but now they're abusive, or now they start in on a bad habit that affects y'all's whole family, and there was no sign of it coming. And there's no way for us to tell that. People can say, oh, you gotta look for red flags. Sometimes there aren't any red flags, honestly, in men or women. Sometimes life is just life, and only God has all knowledge and knows the future and knows the trajectory of a person. So I'd rather him match me up with somebody. But yeah, that song kind of took me back to like when I initially thought as a young girl, man, I want to be like that. And it's not that I already wasn't like that. I kind of was already like that, but it made me lean more into it. So happy Valentine's Day / Singles Awareness Day.